Claudia Cardinale, a name that once shimmered across the silver screens of Italy, France, and Hollywood alike. A face of timeless glamour, a voice so husky and unforgettable, and a spirit that was as free as it was fiery. Today, the world mourns her passing at the age of 87. For decades, she embodied the golden age of European cinema, not just as an actress, but as a symbol of resilience, elegance, and defiance. Born in Tunisia to a Sicilian family, her journey into the world of film wasn't scripted in destiny. It began almost by chance. In 1957, after winning a beauty contest in Tunis, she was rewarded with a trip to the Venice Film Festival. That single twist of fate opened doors that would eventually shape the history of cinema. But her rise was never smooth. Cardinale had grown up speaking Sicilian dialect at home and French at school, so her first Italian screen roles required dubbing. And behind the scenes, her young life carried a secret, an abusive relationship that left her pregnant. In 1958, she gave birth to a son, Patrick, in London, passing him off for years as her younger brother while her parents raised him. Imagine carrying such a burden while simultaneously rising to fame. That duality became a defining part of her strength. By 1963, she was no longer just an actress in smaller roles. She was the face of international cinema. That year, she starred in Federico Fellini's 8½, and in Luchino Visconti's masterpiece, The Leopard, alongside Burt Lancaster. Shooting both films at once wasn't easy. Cardinale often joked about constantly changing her hair color to suit two directors with entirely different visions. Fellini, she recalled, couldn't work without chaos, noise, and frenzy around him, while Visconti demanded the silence and gravity of theater. These contrasting styles didn't intimidate her. They sharpened her craft and gave her performances a depth that would captivate audiences worldwide. And just when Italy had crowned her its screen goddess, Hollywood came calling. She appeared in Blake Edwards' stylish caper, The Pink Panther, and then, in 1968, cemented her legend with Sergio Leone's Once Upon a Time in the West. That performance alone, layered with grit and sensuality, ensured her immortality in film history. But her life wasn't a fairy tale. In the 1970s, after leaving film producer Franco Cristaldi for filmmaker Pasquale Schittieri, the true love of her life, she paid a heavy price. Cristaldi used his influence to blacklist her in Italian cinema. Even Visconti, who had once revered her, refused her for his last film. She later admitted how devastating it was to find herself with no money in her bank account, her career seemingly broken. Yet, just when things seemed darkest, she was cast by Franco Zeffirelli in the 1977 miniseries Jesus of Nazareth, which reignited her career and reintroduced her to the world. If you're feeling the weight of her story, the triumphs and the heartbreaks, pause for a moment, because stories like this deserve to live on. And to make sure you don't miss the next chapter in cinema's greatest legends, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's keep this journey alive together. Cardinale's reputation extended beyond the screen. She was known as fiercely independent, even rebellious. A chain smoker with a raspy laugh, she once defied Vatican protocol by showing up to meet Pope Paul VI in a miniskirt. She moved with ease between French and Italian culture, befriending presidents like François Mitterrand and Jacques Chirac. And by the 2000s, she found a new love: theater. On stage, she earned as much praise as she had in film, proving her artistry was boundless. Even in her later years, she never truly left the screen. In 2020, at the age of 82, she appeared in the Swiss TV series Bulle, reminding audiences that she was never one to fade quietly into history. Her body of work spans over 6 decades, her characters ranging from prostitutes to saints, romantics to rebels. She herself once said, "I've lived more than 150 lives, and that is marvelous." And indeed, it was marvelous. Few actors can claim to have worked with Fellini, Visconti, Leone, and Herzog, to have conquered both Hollywood and European cinema, to have faced personal trials yet risen each time with even more determination. Her story isn't just about glamour, it's about survival, defiance, and transformation. As she received her Lifetime Achievement Award at the Berlin Film Festival in 2002, she reflected on her extraordinary career with gratitude. "They gave me everything," she said of her directors. But perhaps, in truth, it was Claudia Cardinale who gave everything, her heart, her courage, and her extraordinary artistry. Her passing is not just the end of an era, it is a reminder of how cinema can immortalize a soul. Claudia Cardinale will live on, not just in celluloid reels and old posters, but in the emotions she stirred in millions of hearts. So if her story moved you, if you felt even a spark of the power she carried, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Because we're not just telling stories here, we're keeping legacies alive. And Claudia's, it will never be forgotten.